This must be Gastonia's most unusual backyard. Hundreds of azaleas and an old log cabin out back.
I was a country boy. I've always wanted a log house. So this is my playhouse.
Keith Smith has had a continual romance with his boyhood farm days. He's always been determined to relive part of it, to raise a monument to the lifestyle he once enjoyed. So he hauled this 200-year-old cabin into his yard and spent years reworking it.
Is this mud holding these logs together?
It's red dirt, sand, and cement. Back when they built the log cabins, it was mud. It was dirt and water mixed together.
Other than cement and new mud between the logs, little has changed. The timbers that some family worked so hard to cut 200 years ago are still in place.
Do you know anything about who once lived here?
I go back to Hill, a Hill family.
Keith Smith likes to imagine how the Hill family must have lived.
Now, what in the world is this?
This is called your jar tree.
This is where they kept jars stored until canning time. And the back porch is likely where the Hill family washed up for meals.
It was hard work, but you look back, and it was a good life. It wasn't a fast life. Seemed like you had plenty of time back then.
Keith Smith knew life before electricity, back in the days when fixing supper started with bringing in the wood.
Keep that fire going, huh?
Yes, sir. You got to keep the fire going. Now, my mother, back when she's cooking on a wood stove, that's one thing you didn't do. You didn't mess with her fire.
Oh, is that right?
She knew when to put a stick of wood in when she's baking, especially an old pound cake.
Keith and his wife Rebecca love to entertain here. Guests love the old food from the wood stove and the old fireplace. There's a warm glow in here from the oil lamps, and the old walls and tables are full of antiques, such as this jar.
It's called your half-a-gallon white lightning jar.
Oh, yeah?
That's what they kept the white lightning in. My daddy drank this stuff, and he kept a jar sitting beside his bed all the time.
For Keith Smith, this cabin represents a simple lifestyle, a lifestyle he wants his grandchildren to see and hear about. He says he would like for these two to understand just how good they've got it these days. But more than that, Keith Smith likes to look back and remember how good he had it.
You come in and close those doors, you're living in the past. You just does something inside of me. I just can't explain to you the feeling that it gives me.